Shabbat Shalom. All praises to Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. Shabbat for my Gabar, the true Hebrews on the guy, aka Thug Camp, to my left.
Did you mind down?
So there's another Shabbat. We're going to get straight to it. We're going to start off with Joshua chapter 1 real quick and then go into the book of Exodus. So get Joshua chapter 1, read verse 7 and 8 and 9. And then we're going to go to the book of Exodus. So Joshua chapter 1, verse 7, 8, and 9.
Joshua chapter 1, verse 7. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest.
So that's why we go over the laws, statutes, commandments every Sabbath, so that we don't be distracted from anything else. You see what I'm saying? We gotta be focused on these laws, statutes, commandments, and not be focused on the left or focused on the right. Focus on these laws, statutes, commandments first. Go ahead.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
So this is what we're supposed to meditate day and night about: laws, statutes, and commandments. And this is what our salvation is in: keeping these laws, statutes, commandments, and having faith in the Messiah, what the world calls Jesus Christ, so we call Yahushai. Continue.
Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for Yahweh thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest.
Meaning having faith. So commandments and having faith. So let's go to the book of Exodus. We're going to cover Exodus chapter 16, 17, and 18 this week. We almost halfway done with the book of Exodus. So Exodus chapter 16, verse 1.
And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt.
So Elim is like a place in the desert, and Sinai is like the mountain. So it's like in the middle of the mountain, between the mountain and the desert. Go ahead.
And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness.
So they was complaining, like our people constantly was complaining, right? Hold that, give me Philippians chapter 2. Philippians chapter 2. Philippians chapter 2, verse 14 and 15.
Philippians chapter 2, verse 14.
Go on.
Verse 14. Do all things without murmurings and disputings.
So we're supposed to do all things. We're supposed to do all things without murmuring, which is complaining, and disputing, which is like arguing. We don't really got to get caught up into if a person don't want to accept the truth, let them keep on moving. You see what I'm saying? We give them the word, they don't want to hear it. Don't get in a heated argument and get ready to, especially it's really talking about our people, and you ready to fight and get heated. No, if they don't want to hear it, then just keep it moving. Read verse 14 again.
Do all things without murmurings and disputings, that ye may be blameless and harmless.
So we must be blameless. We must pretty much strive for perfection. You don't want to be, if we can be without sin, we can be without sin. We're supposed to strive for perfection and be harmless, be innocent, be pure. Go ahead.
That ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God.
We are the sons of God. That's what Yahshua means. Prince of Power, the sons of God. Go ahead.
Without rebuke in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world.
So we're supposed to shine in this world. Our wisdom is supposed to shine throughout this dark world. So go back to Exodus chapter 16,
verse 3.
Done.
And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of Yahweh in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the fill, for ye have brought us forth into the wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger.
To remind you, they was complaining, they didn't have faith, they didn't understand that the Lord can bring us into a desert where there's no water, no food, and we'll still be able to survive and eat. They didn't have that faith. Go ahead.
Then said Yahweh unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no.
Here you see the Most High say He'll prove us. Most High, He'll prove us daily. He's proving us right now and seeing if He's worthy. And when that great tribulation comes, He's going to really prove us and test us and see is you about what you said you was about. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily.
So Friday is like a prep day for the Sabbath. Go ahead.
And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel at even, Then ye shall know that Yahweh hath brought you out from the land of Egypt.
Go ahead.
And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of Yahweh, for that He heareth your murmurings against Yahweh. And what are we, that ye murmur against us?
Go ahead.
And Moses said, This shall be when Yahweh shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to fulfill. For Yahweh heareth your murmurings which you murmur against Him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against Yahweh.
So when we complain, we don't complain to a brother. Somebody's like, when they was complaining to Moses, they was complaining to the Most High. So hold that, give me 1 Thessalonians 4 and 8. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. First Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 8.
He therefore that despiseth not man.
So people that come up against us when we speaking the truth, when we coming out thus said the Lord, they ain't coming up against us, they coming up against who? Go ahead.
But God, who hath also given us His Holy Spirit.
So they coming up against the Most High. And no one, all of our arms is too short to try to box against the Most High. You can't fight with the Most High, so that's a fight that you ain't gonna never win. So you can't despise it when you complain to the Most High, not to us men, because us men we're just the messenger. You see what I'm saying? We just a vessel being used. It's not our doing. It's not even us waking up anybody. A lot of people, I woke up about 13 people this month. You didn't wake up nothing. It was the Most High that woke it up. He just used you as a mouthpiece, you see? So go back to Exodus chapter 16.
Exodus 16 and 9.
God.
And Moses spake unto Aaron, saying to all the congregation of the children of Israel, Come near before Yahweh, for He hath heard your murmurings.
So he's like, come here. He heard all that complaining that you was doing. You weren't supposed to complain. Have faith. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of Yahweh appeared in the cloud.
Which we out here, we in the wilderness right now. We outside our homeland. A lot of people thinking that, we're going to be brought into the desert again, and then 2/3 going to be cut off, and then only 10% of our people going to survive. We are in the wilderness. When you read the book of Revelations, and when you read Revelations 12, and also Revelations 17, it tells you about when John the Revelator was carried away into the wilderness in the spirit, and he's seen this great place, which is called Mystery Babylon. This is America. You see what I'm saying? We was taken from our homeland and was scattered throughout the rest of the world. Go ahead.
11. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, At even ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh your God. And it came to pass that at even the quails came up,
which is like small ducks. Go ahead.
And covered the camp. And in the morning the dew lay round about the host.
So it's foggy. You know, like if you go outside or anything, there's a bunch of fog, you can barely see. That's how it was. Go ahead.
And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, It is manna, for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, This is the bread which Yahweh hath given you to eat.
So hold that. Give me John chapter 6. And when you look up the word manna, because it's heavenly bread, it means, what is this? Because when they ate that bad, they was like, man, I ain't never tasted this ever. You know what I mean? They went to grub and they're like, what is this? You know how you even, brothers that eat something or you try something you never tried before, you like, man, this is good as hell. Like, what is this? And that's what the word manna means. What is this? So go to St. John chapter 6, verse 33 to 38. St. John chapter 6, verse 33 to 38.
For the bread of God is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world.
So this is Yahweh Shai. He is the bread of, this is spiritual. We're not actually eating the body of Christ. Like he said, take this bread in remembrance of me, and this blood, this wine, remember, is spiritual. Just like when the angel told John the Revelator in Revelation chapter 10, eat this. He ain't gonna really eat the whole Bible. No, you gotta consume. You gotta take part of what you gotta be about this word. You see what I'm saying? You gotta take it all in. So continue.
For the bread of God is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world. Then said they unto him, Yahweh, our Lord, evermore give us this bread.
So they're like, man, give me this part of this bread. Let's see what Yahweh Shai said. Go ahead.
And Yahweh Shai said unto them, I am the bread of life.
I am what?
I am the bread of life.
He said, he's the bread of life. Go ahead.
He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst.
Hold that. Give me Matthew 5 and 6, and then we go back to John 6. So if you come to Christ, you would never hunger, you would never thirst. So give me Matthew 5 and 6. Where are we supposed to thirst and be hungry for? Actual food? Yeah, that's natural. We're supposed to, eat and drink. Well, that's normal. But read that.
Matthew 5 and 6.
Go ahead.
Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness.
And we all know, go ahead.
For they shall be filled.
Now go back to John 6. And we all know how to be righteous. Keep the law, statute, commandments. So those that keep the law, statute, commandments, because Christ is the Word. And He's that bread of life. So when you believe in Him and do what He says, you will have everlasting life. If you don't do what He says, then you're condemned. Go ahead, read verse 36.
But I said unto you that ye also have seen me and believe not.
Because most people was around there, they was around Christ, they didn't believe Him. Go ahead.
All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven, not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me.
So go back to Exodus. So during the time of Moses, that was actual physical bread that we actually ate. But now, when Christ stepped on the scene, He was that spiritual food. He was that spiritual bread. Go ahead, because we all part of what? Christ's body. He's our head. Just like us men is the head of the woman, Christ is the head of the man. So we all part of this, we all partake in this body, which is Christ. And that's why when you go into Matthew 22, dealing with the marriage, and that was spiritual. We are married to to Christ. He's our husband, we are His bride. Not physically, but this is a spiritual marriage. So we have agreement, we have a contract with Yahweh Shai, the Most High. So go back to Exodus chapter 16.
16 verse 16.
Done.
This is the thing which Yahweh had commanded. Gather it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man, according to the number of the persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tent. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. And
So
when they,
depending on how much you had in your household, some people might have 10 kids. You gather more. Some people might only have no kids. They gather less. Go ahead.
and when they didn't meet, it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And Moses said, Let no man leave of it till the morning. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left it until the morning. And the bread worms and stank, and Moses was wroth with them.
So they didn't listen, so Moses was mad, right? Go ahead.
And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted.
That's what they get. Go ahead.
And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man.
So 2 omers, when you look it up, it's like liters. A liter. Go ahead.
And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, This is that which Yahweh hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto Yahweh. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seek that which ye will see.
Which is see it means to cook. Go ahead.
And that which remaineth overlaid up for you to be kept until the morning.
So those that want to eat, he's letting you know, if you want to eat, you prepare on the 6th day, and if you want to eat on the Sabbath, you cook twice as much, and you will be able to eat that leftover for tomorrow. But if you want to fast, it's good to fast too. Go ahead.
And they laid it up till the morning, and Moses bathed, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein.
Go ahead.
And Moses said, Eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto Yahweh. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath day, in it there shall be none.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass that here went out some of the people on the 7th day.
So remind you, the Lord already said, on the 6 days you can gather it, but on the 7th day you're gonna go out there, you ain't gonna find nothing. Well, let's see what our wicked people did. Read verse 27.
And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none.
You see that? You see how wicked our people is? The Lord clearly said, 6 days you'll be good, you'll have enough food. The 7th day, you're not gonna find none. What did our rebellious people do? They went out there anyway, looking to see if they could find some. But they wanted some of that, what is this? So hold that, give me Exodus chapter 2. Ezekiel chapter 2. It's like it. They want some of that, what is this from heaven? Ezekiel 2, 3-5. So our people are rebellious. They don't want to hear nothing. Even when you tell our people, hey brother, that cigarette right there, you shouldn't be smoking that. They might throw it away that day when you see them. They might be like, okay brother, you see all the time, they'll throw it away. And we'll see them the next day, the next Sabbath we out there teaching, and they got that cigarette in their mouth. Our people are rebellious. So Ezekiel 2, 3-5. Read that out.
He had cut off in his fierce anger.
Ezekiel. Do the limitation. Ezekiel chapter 2, 3-5.
And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day.
And you see that? As they transgressed when the Most High told them, he gave them a commandment, don't go out there on the 7th day, they did it anyway. Go ahead.
For they are impudent children, and stiff-necked. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them.
Because Moses was the one telling them, like the Lord said, okay, on the 6 days you gather up, the 7th day you don't need. Like it was no point for them to go out on the 7th day when he gave us twice as much bread, food, forth on the 6th day. Go ahead. It was just our people being greedy. Go ahead.
Thus saith Yahweh God. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear.
So when we out there teaching, this is same thing goes when we out there teaching. Whether they want to hear it or whether they accept it or not. Go ahead.
For they are a rebellious house.
And the Lord, we know our people are rebellious. Go ahead.
yet shall know that there had a prophet among them.
They gonna know that there's been a prophet among them. That person that was on that corner, that was speaking that truth, was actually sent by the Most High. And they gonna feel ashamed when destruction comes, and the Lord's gonna let them know. They gonna remember that day. Like, man, I met that brother, he was telling me, wake me up, and I was hard-headed. They gonna remember all that. So go back to Exodus 16. So that's why we go out there in the streets. You know, we ain't gonna be no summertime Israelites. You got some brothers saying, oh, it's too cold to go outside. I can see if it's a damn blizzard, it's damn freezing. Yeah, we ain't gonna go outside, that's common sense. But mostly the Most High, on Saturdays, it'd be nice days, you know what I mean? It'd be pretty nice days enough to go out there. If it's 10 degrees, 15 degrees out there, there's no point, we should be out there. If it's people out there, we should be out there. Our people like, oh, it's too cold outside, so I ain't about to, freeze for them rebellious Negroes. The Most High said, be instant, in season and out of season. We must teach it summertime when it's hot, and then when it's cold. You know what I mean? Continue out. Exodus chapter 16,
Verse 28.
Come on.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that Yahweh hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day.
Go ahead.
So the people rested on the 7th day.
And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to rest. And the only thing we can do is have a holy convocation and do the work of the Lord. It's okay to do good on the Sabbath, like Christ said in Matthew chapter 12. It's okay to do that good. So we aren't supposed to do our own works. We aren't supposed to be doing the things that of this world. We got to do the things of the Lord, right? Go ahead.
And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey.
So hopefully, Yahweh willing, we all be partakers of that manna, in the kingdom. You feel me? Go ahead, Yahweh willing. Go ahead.
And Moses said, this is the thing which Yahweh commanded, fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt.
The heavenly bread. You see, we ain't gonna be having no damn Chinese food in the kingdom. They ain't gonna be serving cats and dogs and stuff. Hell no. Let's put to death. You see what I'm saying? We're gonna be having that heavenly food. Might be some food that we ain't never seen or heard of. Like, what is this? Just like it said in manna. What the hell is that? Go ahead.
And Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before Yahweh, to be kept for your generations. As Yahweh commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years.
How long?
40 years.
So you see how much faith? I mean, if you just believe, the Most High got us. They ate that for 40 years. Go ahead.
Until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omer is the 10th part of an ephah.
So give me Matthew 24 real quick. You can start at verse, I believe it's 3. There we go.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world?
Okay, go ahead.
And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
So many people are going to be deceived into thinking they following the way of righteousness, but they're going to be actually following the devil. Go ahead.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
So we're not supposed to worry about when you hear about what they said, which country was that? Some country sound like 350 armed troops. You're not supposed to worry about that. Go ahead.
But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famine.
There should be what?
Famine.
That's the part I want. And there should be famine. So when that famine comes, that same thing that the Lord did to our people, gave them that heavenly bread, you have faith the Most High is going to feed you. Like it tells you, the Lord said, when that day comes, my servant's going to eat, and you're going to be hungry. You see what I'm saying? Because you kept my saying. Now go back to Exodus chapter, then we go to 17. So it's that famine's going to come again. Really, it's a famine already. Because a lot of the foods we eating is damn clone and not real anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I've been going on the damn, juice. I've been juicing for like a week. I'm about to do it for another week. Just eating nothing but fruits and vegetables. Put that mug in that little bullet. Right, that bad boy. yeah, and that's what I've been doing and stuff. And that fruit, you gotta, soak that bad boy in some apple cider vinegar and stuff, and do all type of stuff because that's poison too. Make sure you have seeds. A lot of that stuff be seedless. That's not real. Ain't no such thing as seedless watermelon or seedless banana. Those bananas, those are not real. A banana's supposed to have seed in it. Yeah. Even if it's organic, that's not real. So go back to Exodus chapter 17. So make sure we eat healthy too. Go ahead.
And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys according to the commandment of Yahweh, and pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink.
So Rephidim is between Egypt and Israel. It's a resting place. You know how you go, a lot of people that drive trucks, they have truck stops. We have a resting place. A place that you rest within between Egypt and Israel. Go ahead.
Wherefore the people did chide with Moses and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide ye with me? Wherefore did ye tempt Yahweh? And the people thirst there for water. And the people murmured against Moses and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst?
Go ahead.
And Moses cried unto Yahweh, saying, What shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me.
Hold that, give me Amos chapter 8. They getting ready to kill Moses, the prophet. So Amos chapter 8. Because why? No, nothing to drink. They thirsty, right? So Amos chapter 8, verse 11 and 12. Amos chapter 8, verse 11 and 12. Because there's going to be a famine. There's going to be a physical famine, actual without food. A lot of the farms and stuff droughting up and stuff. There's also going to be another famine, a spiritual famine. We're going to read it. Amos 8, 11 and 12. And that's why it's important to get your spirit right now. You seek the Most High while he may be found. So Amos 8, 11 and 12. Read that up.
Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing of the words of Yahweh.
So it's going to come a time where it's going to be a famine, but of hearing the words of the Most High. Go ahead.
And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it.
Go back to Exodus 17. It's going to come at time. Because you really think during the time of martial law, brothers going to be out there in garments talking about, hey, cry out loud, spare not.
Yeah.
No. You know what I mean? That's not a time. We got to use wisdom. I'm about to be out there. It's war breaking out. And when that war break out, that's when our people are going to be seeking that knowledge, or seeking knowledge then. And they're going to say, dang, those brothers on the street corners throughout the city was right. It was telling me that this was going to happen, this was going to take place, this was going to take place. Where's those Hebrews at? Where's those brothers at? Where's those brothers in them garments, them long robes? That's what they're going to be saying. But it's going to be too late for a lot of our people, man. So go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel and thy rod, wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thine hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel.
So you see, that time the Lord told him to grab that staff, that rod, and hit it, right? The other time, give me Numbers 20. You remember the other time we read, he didn't tell them to do that. So we're going to read that story again, refresh our memory. Numbers chapter 20, 7 through 12. So he told him to hit that rock, and then that water was going to come out. And then he told him again, Numbers chapter 20, verse 7.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron, thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes.
No, hit the rock.
And speak ye unto the rock before their eyes.
So you see what we just read in Exodus chapter 17, verse 6. He said to hit the rock, right? But this time he says, speak to the rock. Go ahead.
And it shall bring forth to them water out of the rock, so thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink.
So he said, just speak to it. That's having faith. Just like Yahweh said, you know, if you have faith of a mustard seed, you'll be able to move mountains, right? Mm-hmm. That's having strong faith. Continue.
And Moses took the rod from before Yahweh as he commanded him.
So he's on point so far, right? He took the rod. Go ahead.
And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock?
So you see, first of all, the Lord didn't tell him to call our people rebels. He said, take that rod and go and hit or talk to the rock. But you see how Moses put his little extra little, you know, words into it. And he said, you rebels. The Lord never told him to do that. And then another part he did, he said, must we? That's where a lot of brothers will get messed up and get destroyed off doing that. Being pride. He said, must we fetch water out of this rock? First of all, it wasn't Moses doing. It was the Lord doing. But because he got lifted up, and that's what happens when brothers get these ranks. That's why right here in Thug Camp, we don't do ranks like that. You know, none of us is better than any of us. We all did as different offices, but we're not going to say, boast our people and say, oh, I'm a high priest, and this is this brother, he's a second high priest, and then my man's right there is general, and this man is captain. Because when you do that, it starts exalting brothers, and then it gets to their head, and then they be like, you know, they feel like they're untouchable. And that's what Moses felt like. He got that authority. He's like, you know, must we fetch you this water? And you might think like brothers is saying like, oh, you know, if it's not of me, it's not of the Lord. That's blasphemy, man. Continue.
11. And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice.
So he did it twice. The Lord never told him. He said, speak unto that rock. Moses did what he wanted to do, right? Go ahead.
And the water came out abundantly.
So it still came out, right? Go ahead.
And the congregation drank, and their beasts also.
Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believed me not.
So he said, because you believe me not. Because you didn't have faith. Because he's probably like, man, how the hell can I talk to this rock and water come out of this? Would it make sense if I hit it again? You see what I'm saying? You didn't have that faith. Go ahead.
To sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them.
So go back to Exodus. That's the reason why Moses is not entered, because he got lifted up, he got prideful, and what did the scripture say in the Proverbs? Pride lead before destruction. Right. So go back to Exodus 17. So if those brothers out there, if y'all want to stay prideful and lift yourselves up, you know, all well to you. But as for us brothers here, we're going to be humble as possible. And sisters, we're going to be as humble as possible, because we got to be humble. Because that's what the Lord requires. Humble yourself as a child. Don't be, a lot of these brothers, I'm telling you, the Most High, He's going to lift up brothers out the blue and lift them up to be great in the kingdom. And brothers that looked as God in this kingdom is going to be brought down to a low state. Because they were so prideful, man. So go back to Exodus 17.
17 verse 5. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel in thy rod, wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thine hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock of Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. And he called the name of the place Masah and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted Yahweh, saying, Is Yahweh among us or not?
They was always bringing that strife. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to tempt the Most High. You're supposed to believe and have faith. You got to believe and have faith. Do not be trying to tempt the Most High. Go ahead, because you ain't going to win that battle. Go ahead.
Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim.
Open that door, brother. So read verse 8 again.
Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim.
So Amalek is the so-called Jewish people. That's them damn bastards that's claiming to be us. You know what I mean? Them Goyim. They be calling us Goyim cattle, but they the real Goyim.
That's right.
Laid down scum of the earth, the filth of the earth. Read verse 8 again.
Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim.
So it means Rephidim, reminds you, Rephidim, when you look it up, it means a resting places between Egypt and Israel. So it was like in the middle between that. So they pretty much tried to cut us off, and they seen us, okay, they fight on the weapons and this and that. They on their way to their land. Let's meet them halfway and fight against them. We could take them down right now. That's what they was thinking. That's how Esau was thinking. We could take them down. Right? We can cut them off. We can surprise them under attack. Continue.
And Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men, and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand.
So Moses called Joshua the Ephraimite. Hey brother, go gather the men. Be ready to go to war, right? Go ahead. So Moses, at this time, remind you, Moses is old. You know what I mean? He could barely stand holding the rod. It's going to show you he's going to be he's an elderly man. So, you know, he's not going to be ready, fit for battle. So he's like, go get Joshua. Joshua's in his 20s. Go get the young bucks. Y'all got hella energy. Go get some more warriors, and let's get into it. Let's get busy, right? Go ahead.
So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses and Aaron and Hur went up to the top of the hill.
And Hur was like the assistant of Moses and Aaron. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed.
So every time he lifted up his hand, that's when Israel was getting it in. But once he lowered that, that's when Amalek started, you know, the war changed. The battle changed. Then Amalek started prevailing. Go ahead.
And Moses' hands were heavy. And he took a stone.
Reminds you, the Lord told him to lift up the staff, right? Go ahead.
And Moses' hands were heavy, and he took a stone and put it under him, and he sat therein.
They took a big old stone here. Hey, Elder Moses, come go sit down on that stone, right? Go ahead.
And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, and the one on the one side and the other on the other side.
So both of them helped keep his hand up with that staff, right? Go ahead.
And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua.
So you see how long that was? Because I mean, that would be hard to do for a lot of us. I don't think I could do that. Just hold a staff all day. I mean, that thing, boy, go take a 10-pound bale and you just hold it like this. You might do it for about a minute. Your arm starts shaking, and you just like, oh hell no! You can drop that bad boy. You see what I'm saying? So that's why he needed. And this is an older man. So obviously he's not gonna have young strength. When you know where we at? We in Exodus chapter 17, verse 13. So he's not gonna have that strength as a young man, and even that's hard until the sun goes down. So read verse 13, Exodus chapter 17, verse 13.
And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword.
So he weakened their army, right? Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
Go ahead.
And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nisi,
which is Yahweh Nisi, which means Yahweh is my banner. And that, like I said, that further proves that his name is Yahweh, because in the Hebrew, that Jehovah, that's in English, But that right there is Yahweh. Yahweh is my banner. It didn't say no Ahaya is my banner.
Right.
It said Yahweh is my banner. For all those brothers and sisters that call up on Ahaya, you can't. What you gonna say about Exodus chapter 17 verse 15? Why would they call that altar Yahweh Nisi? Think about it. Go ahead.
For he said, because Yahweh have sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
Because that fulfilled prophecy. I mean, that fulfilled back in Genesis 25 when Esau and Jacob was fighting in the womb. Before they was even brought out, they was warring. So that's showing you it's always going to be a battle between us and Esau. It's going to be a battle. You can't get around it. The Lord, read verse 16 again.
For he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek.
He has sworn that he will have war, go ahead,
with Amalek from generation to generation.
from generation to generation. And we're still going to war with them. They was the one that financed the slave trade. They the one that feed us all that garbage what we learn in school. They the one that they had control of all that. Right? Give me 1 Samuel chapter 15. 1 Samuel chapter 15. Give you the story about Saul and Samuel. You can read this whole story. 1 Samuel chapter 15. Start at verse 1 all the way down.
Samuel also said unto Saul, Yahweh sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of Yahweh.
You see, that's all we got to do, brothers and sisters, is hearken unto the words of the Most High. Just do what he says. As long as we do what he said, guess what? We are fine. If you don't do what he said, guess what? You're gonna get destroyed. Simple as that. Go ahead.
Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt.
Remind you, that also tells you that in Obadiah. Tell you the same thing. So read verse 2 again.
Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt.
So he was plotting against them. He tried to cut them off, right? Go ahead.
Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have,
So remind you what the Lord tell them to do. Go ahead.
and spare them not.
Spare what?
And spare them not. But slay both man and woman, infant and suckling.
Wait. Man, women, infant, and the damn the kid that just came out, right? Go ahead.
Ox and sheep,
And their cattle. Go ahead.
camel and ass.
So you see how the Lord doesn't play? The Lord have no problem killing. Like you got not Beyonce. She's too pretty. Hell nah, she gonna get it too. Yeah, like the angels gonna no. Kids they get it too. The Lord have no respect of person. Like when you read Acts chapter 10, a lot of people when the Lord says He's not respect of person, out of all those that fear, He's talking about in judgment. So when you read Deuteronomy 1:17, it's telling you in judgment the Lord will have no respect of person. Meaning, if you could be Moses on Moses level, or you could be the poorest of Israel. If you're doing wicked, you're gonna be dealt with, and that's why Moses did not enter into the land of Israel, even though he was put in a great statue amongst Israel. He sinned. So the Lord wages of sin is death. Continue.
4. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah.
Go ahead.
And Saul came to the city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley.
So okay, let's see. So they going to war, right? Go ahead.
And Saul said unto the Kenites, Go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites.
So remind you what he said in Genesis, what the Lord said. Bless those that bless Israel and curse those that curse us. So the Canaanites, they didn't do nothing to us at that time. So the Lord, so Samuel was like, just go your way, unless you gonna stay, and we're gonna go to war with you too. Go ahead.
And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah unto thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt.
Go ahead, but look what Samuel did. Go ahead, or Saul did. Slakia, go ahead.
And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
Did the Lord tell him to do that?
No.
What did the Lord tell him to do? Kill everyone. But what did Saul do? He took Agag, which in the Apocrypha I believe is Hagag,
Yeah.
which he called him a Macedonian, which that cuts that doctrine that Alexander was, that the Edomites are Japhetic and not, that the white people are Japhetic and not Esau.
Right.
Because when you read, they call Agag a Amalek, but in the Apocrypha it called him a Macedonian, because he was living in that land. Go ahead.
And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
So he kept the king alive. Let's see what else he did. Go ahead.
But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep.
And the what?
And the best of the sheep.
But the Lord didn't tell him to do that. He said kill the animals too. But they took the best of the sheep. Go ahead.
And of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refuse, that they destroyed utterly.
So they took all the best. They only destroyed the worst. They're like, oh, we don't want that. But that, oh, we gotta keep this. You see how people is? Like, we can't. You sure the Lord told us to do that? This is too good. This is value. But the Lord, He gave them a commandment. Do what He say, He'll bless you. Don't do what He say, He'll curse you. Go ahead.
10. Then came the word of Yahweh unto Samuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king.
So he's like, man, I wish I'd have never set up this nigga to be king. Go ahead.
For he has turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto Yahweh all night.
Go ahead.
And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of Yahweh, I have performed the commandment of Yahweh. And Samuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in mine ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear?
So Samuel like, oh, you did the work of the Most High? He's like, oh yeah, I did the work of the Most High. So he's like, what's this noise I'm hearing? Right? So where do these cattle come from? Let's see, go ahead.
And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep.
So you see, he lied. He said, I did what the Lord told me to do. Samuel just said, why do I hear this cattle? He said, what did he say? Read that part again.
And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto Yahweh their God.
How you gonna sacrifice? How you gonna take, after the Lord told him strictly to kill all these animals, the children, the women, the men, how you gonna sit there and try to say, oh, okay, I just took this just to sacrifice to the Lord. He require animal sacrifice. You're trying to do it to the Lord. They probably just said that just because, just being wicked. They probably just said that like, oh, we're doing it, knowing good well. They probably were trying to sell it and do other stuff with it. Go ahead.
Then Samuel said unto Saul, so I can. Okay, come. 16. Then Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee what Yahweh hath said unto me this night. And he said unto him, Say on.
Go ahead.
And Samuel said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, was thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel?
So when you wasn't even a nobody, and the Lord lifts you up to be a somebody and make you a leader over Israel, go ahead.
And Yahweh anointed thee king over Israel. And Yahweh sent thee on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners of the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed.
Go ahead.
Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of Yahweh, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of Yahweh?
So the Lord just told them to go slay those wicked Amaleks. That's all. Go ahead.
And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I will obey the voice of Yahweh, and have gone the way which Yahweh sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto Yahweh thy God in Gilgal. And Samuel said, Hath Yahweh had as and Samuel said, Hath Yahweh,
Go ahead.
hath Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices
Check this out. Go ahead.
as in obeying the voice of Yahweh.
Go ahead.
Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
To obey is better than sacrifice. So he's trying to make an excuse. Oh, we just took it. They just took it because they want to sacrifice. But why would you need to sacrifice if you obeyed on the first place? The only time you was sacrificing when you was for that type of sacrifice sin offering was if you was sinning. But if you obeyed the Most High's voice, you didn't have need to sacrifice. So he said, obey is better than sacrifice. Go ahead.
And to hearken than the fat of rams.
So just listen to the Most High and obey. It's better than doing sacrifice. Go ahead.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
Read that one more time.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
For when you rebel against the Most High, it is as the same as you doing witchcraft. The same thing, you just rebellion. Go ahead. Being rebellious. Go ahead.
And stubbornness is as iniquity and adultery.
So it's the same thing. Equal. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he hath also rejected thee from being king. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of Yahweh, and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice.
So you see that? He feared the people. But we don't supposed to fear no one. But who? Yahweh, the Most High. That's what we supposed to fear. We're supposed to fear no man or woman or anything. No gun, no nothing. We supposed to fear the Most High. Go ahead.
Now therefore I pray thee, pardon my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship Yahweh.
Go ahead.
And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, and Yahweh hath rejected thee from being king over Israel.
So you see how when the Lord told our people back then, hey, we got to be happy right now. The Most High gave us some mercy. Because back then, you messed up one time. That's your ass.
Yeah.
Real talk. Like, he was like, I repent. I'm sorry. Well, no. I reject you for being king over Israel. You see, just like people that was caught up in homosexuality or lesbian or worshiping other gods or adultery and all this, that was worthy of death. You get put to death on the spot. But the Lord gave us that mercy. You see what I'm saying? He gave us that grace period. Should I say? He gave us that grace period to get our act together. But that door of grace is closing. So when that door is shut, it ain't gonna be no more. God, help me, please, help me, forgive me. No, it's when Christ come and crack that sky open, man. The grace is closed. That door is closed. It's judgment time. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
27.
It's gonna be a scary night, day, man. I'm telling you. Oh man, we gonna weep like, oh Lord. We don't, like I said, we don't. Nobody knows if you're a part of the elect. Nobody knows. That's the Lord proving our faith.
Yeah.
You got some brothers teaching, oh, I'm guaranteed in this kingdom. I'm gonna be right next to Yahweh Shai. You know, I be hearing some stuff, I be like, man, I ain't gonna say nothing. I be seeing on Facebook, I ain't gonna say nothing, man, no more. I'm just gonna let them, because the scripture says, he's gonna send them strong delusions that they should believe a lie. So you really believe that you guaranteed a spot in the kingdom and that you're gonna be sitting right next to Yahweh Shai, you 100% positive? Okay. If that's what you think, I guess. But we gotta be humble and we just gotta continue to strive for perfection. And none of us is guaranteed a spot, because the sins that we do, we all worthy to die. We all deserve death. You know what I'm saying? Like the scripture said, we all fall short of the glory of the Most High. Continue out.
27. And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle, and it rent.
So it's like, that's why we must say, Yahweh willing,
God.
we make it. Yahweh willing. Go ahead.
And Samuel said unto him, Yahweh hath rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and hath given it to a neighbor of thine, that it is better than thou.
So he took The Lord lifted Saul up, brought him down, and gave it to somebody that was better than him, that was more righteous than him. Go ahead.
And also the strength of Israel would not lie nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent.
Go ahead.
Then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people, and before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship Yahweh thy God.
Go ahead.
So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshipped Yahweh. Then said Samuel, bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately. And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past.
Check this out. Go ahead.
And Samuel said,
because remind you, Saul didn't do the work of the Most High. He didn't do what the Lord told him to do. Let's see what Samuel the prophet did. Go ahead.
And Samuel said, as thy sword hath made woman childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before Yahweh in Gilgal.
That's what the prophet of the Most High did. He chopped that man into pieces before the Yahweh, before the Most High. That's doing the work of the Most High. Go ahead.
Then Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house to Gibeah of Saul. And Samuel came no more to see Saul until the day of his death. Nevertheless, Samuel mourned for Saul, and Yahweh repented that he had made Saul king over Israel.
So Samuel didn't come around Saul no more because he like, that nigga wicked. I don't want to be around him. You know what I mean? So he separated from him. So until he died, and then the Lord, like I said, the Lord got mad that he made, or he repented that he made Saul king over Israel. So go back to Exodus, and we read verse 18 now, chapter 18.
When Jethro the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses.
And remind you, the Midians are Hebrews. They are descendants, they are part of the Hebrew family. They're just not Israelites. Go ahead.
And for Israel, his people, and the Lord, and Yahweh had brought Israel out of Egypt. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, and her 2 sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land.
So that's what Gershom means. Go ahead.
And the name of the other was Eleazar, for the God of my father said he was mine help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he had camped at the mount of God. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife and her 2 sons with her. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent.
So they was asking them, like, what, how you been? What you been up to? And Moses, showed respect unto his father-in-law, Jethro. Go ahead.
And Moses told his father-in-law all that Yahweh had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all that travail that had come upon them by the way, and how Yahweh had delivered them. Yahweh delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which Yahweh had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro
just like the other nations, you might have a few of other nations that might be like, man, I'm tired of what these other, I'm tired of what happening to these black people, these Hispanic people. They being persecuted and going through hell. Man, I wish y'all get out of that condition. So you might have some nations that feel that way, but they still gonna receive judge as a whole. They still gonna receive the judgment as an entire nation. Even though you might have individuals within those different nations that might not really have nothing against us. They might be like, I wish y'all the best. I'll do anything to help y'all, but they still gotta go into slavery. They ain't gonna stop it. We ain't gonna water down the virgin and say, oh, okay, he tried to help us. We gonna not put him in slavery. He gonna be, I guess, according to some Israelites I heard out there, they said the 2/3 gonna come back and be slaves under Israel. And I'm like, that don't make no sense. Right. The 2/3 gonna be slaves, and then the ones of Israel, or the ones of the other nations that's living righteous, they're gonna be set up high, and the 2/3 which are Israelites gonna be serving us and the other nations of the kingdom. I'm telling you, that's how you know we even closer and getting closer to the end. Because I'm hearing too much doctrine every day. I'll be just looking at these doctrines like, okay, I guess I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna look at it like, if that's what you believe, let me go back to studying the law. That's what I'm gonna do. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
So 2/3 of our people gonna be slaves. Just know about that. So you might be a slave in the kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Our people, boy. Go ahead.
And Jethro said, Blessed be Yahweh, who have delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who have delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians.
Go ahead.
Now I know that Yahweh is greater than all gods, for in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them.
So remind you, they all knew about, they understood the God of the Hebrews, how he delivered them out of Egypt. So he's like, y'all know that your God is the one true God. You know what I mean? Just like you have heathens coming up, man. We want to serve your God. We know your God is real. Go ahead.
And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God. And Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people. And the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning unto even? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me to inquire of God.
So he's like, why are you doing it? Pretty much he's saying, like, why are you doing it alone? You know what I mean? You need help, right? Go ahead.
And when they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another. And I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away, both thou and this people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone.
So that's just like, it's kind of like when a bunch of brothers and sisters be emailing me, a lot around the world, asking me questions. And I'd be like, man, I don't have time to answer all these questions. It'd be like just flooded with questions. You can't do it by yourself. That's why I'm like, just add me on Facebook, or I add you to the Thug Camp channel, and maybe hopefully a brother asks the question, because it'd be so many questions. So that shows you that you can't do it by yourself. You need the brotherhood. You see what I'm saying? Because you have a bunch of questions. And I'm pretty sure brothers there's a Bach and the other brothers, and then they probably have way more questions. People ask me a bunch of questions. It's kind of like, man, overwhelming. Like, man, I can't stop. I can do this and and it's constantly questions. So that's why it's good to have other brothers that's knowledgeable, because that's what the Lord's raising up men. He ain't just raising up students of men, but students of this word, students of the Most High, soldiers of the Most High. So we all got to be knowledgeable and understand, this word, so that we can break it down. Go ahead, we'll be able to break it down. Go ahead.
19. Hearken now unto my voice, I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. But thou, for the people, to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do.
So even though this man wasn't an Israelite, he was a Hebrew, and he was an elderly man, but he had wisdom. So he's just giving Moses wisdom. Go ahead.
Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. And let them judge the people at all seasons.
Year round. Go ahead.
And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself and they shall bear the burden with thee.
Hold that, give me Ecclesiastes. So he gave him wisdom, like, that's wise That's wisdom coming from a wise man. Like, you know, I don't want, you're gonna stress yourself out, or you're gonna put too much work on you to bear. You know what I mean? Once you set up soldiers and you know, captains and elders to do that.
4:45. The library will be closing in 15 minutes.
Ecclesiastes. Right at the Proverbs. Ecclesiastes chapter 4. Even though this is, I'm just gonna let's talk about more like marriage and stuff, but we're gonna, you know, tie it in. So Ecclesiastes 4, 9 and 10.
Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another help to help him.
So that's why it was better to have many people set up than just to have him by himself. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it was better to have more people around him that was knowledgeable and that they help, you know, judge and make it more easier for Moses. Go back to Exodus 18.
Exodus 18 and 23. If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, when thou shalt be able to endure it, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he said. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens.
Hold that, give me Romans 12. So he hearkened unto the wise old man, his father-in-law, and he set up men. So Romans chapter 12, verse 1 through 6.
I beseech you.
Hold on. I have to place for the brother again. So Romans chapter 12, 1 through 6. Read that.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present yourselves a living sacrifice, holy.
Now read that one more time.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
So we all making sacrifice. We could be in the world doing worldly stuff, gang banging, selling dope, you know, hitting the club, just acting a fool. But we rather make that sacrifice. Some brothers might still be doing it, but they better repent if y'all doing it. But we aren't supposed to do those things, right? Go ahead.
2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
So we must, our old way of thinking, we must become new creatures in Christ when you accept His truth. So that old way of thinking, man, I should go to the club, get about 5 honey dumbers, you know what I mean? And you know what I'm talking about? Go ahead. You're like, I'm still doing that. Go ahead. Let's go.
That ye may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
So that's what we must do, because we must prove ourselves, right? Go ahead.
For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith.
So we aren't supposed to be, like I said, prideful. We aren't supposed to think ourselves to be highly. You know what I mean? Yahweh Shai came to me the other day, and he told me that I'm going to be the leader of all Israel. Y'all must all submit to me. That's what brothers be saying. You have brothers that go out there and do it. And a bunch of people be like, I believe it. I believe it. You know, the Lord, you know, he got some nice clothes. He got a $500,000 car. You know, he seems like that must be a man of the Lord. And our people will go and follow that nonsense. Go ahead. So we're not supposed to read verse 3 again? That's a good scripture. Read verse 3 again.
For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think.
And that's why from day one to now, 7+ years in the truth. I'm not going to call myself nothing more greater than Ephraim Michael Bar. Go ahead.
But to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith.
Go ahead.
For as we have many members in one body.
So with that body, Christ being the head. Go ahead.
And all members have not the same office.
So we all partake of that. All the brothers partake of this body. We all got a part in this body, but it's different office. Go ahead.
So we, being many, are one body in Christ, and every one members of one another. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith, or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching.
So go back to Exodus. So we all got different gifts. Most High blessed us with. But when you put all those gifts together, guess what? You got a body. You got a strong body that can be dealt with.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You put all the brothers' gifts together, boom, boom, bop, and you cold. Just like in music. You ain't gonna have everybody playing the drums. Everybody on the drum like, what about you need the piano person? You need the guitar. You need the rap. You need the person that got the skills. You got different gifts, but every brother got knowledge, or every brother got skills within each every instrument that they're playing. The saxophone, the whatever, the flute, whatever they're playing, they super cold in that thing. But once you put all that together, guess what? That music sounds good. And this is that music. This is the music. This is the song we should be saying. This is the song we should be playing, the law, statutes, commandments.
That's right.
That's that music. So go back to Exodus 18
and 26.
Go ahead.
And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves.
Read that one more time.
And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves.
Hold that. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 6. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse verse 1 through 3.
Dare any of you, having a manner against another, go to law before the unjust and not before the saints?
Hold that. Let's prove who the saints are. Go to Psalms 50, and I believe it's 5. Go out of, and Psalms 148 and 14, I believe.
So Psalms 55?
Psalms 50.
50 and 5. Psalms 50 and 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
So we all know that the saints are the Israelites. So those was the ones that was given the law of sacrifice. Give me one more to further prove who the saints are. Psalms, I believe it's 148. 14. Done. So Psalms 148 verse 14.
Psalms 148.
So even when our forefathers and foremothers should say, and the saints, go marching in, I would like to be a part of that number. That's what we all want to be, a part of that number. If you ain't part of that number, then your ass is in the missile. Your ass in the fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's either don't be a part of that number or damn get hit with a missile. So that shows that our people sung, them songs that our people sung, they knew who they were. Go ahead. So Psalms 148 verse 14.
He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye Yahweh.
So that brother proves the saints are the Israelites. So go back to Psalms chapter, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, and read verse 1 again.
First Corinthians chapter 6. Dare any of you, having a manner against another, go.
So we have a problem against each other, right? If any of our brothers and sisters got a problem, right? Hold on.
The library will be closing in 5 minutes.
Actually, it's 6 minutes. It's 4:54.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more time.
There-
Still out of a minute.
All right.
Go ahead.
There any of you having a matter against another,
So if any brother or sister have a problem amongst themselves, right? Go ahead.
go to law before the unjust and not before the saints?
Are you gonna go and sit there and call the cops? Hey, no, go to the cops. Or are you gonna go to the law?
Yeah.
You're gonna go. Okay, let's see what. Okay, the Bible's gonna tell you what we must do.
Yeah.
Okay, brother, you stole from me. The scripture says you gotta give it back. Plus some. So I gotta get that. You see what I'm saying? That's what we must do. So that's why we must, we call it the law, because you might call it law enforcement, they might come in, you know what I mean, incidents of people calling the law and off a small matter, and the police came and end up killing the son. That happens.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world?
Do you not know that Israel will judge the world? Go ahead.
And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
So that's how we judge. We judge not according to our own ways, our own heart, but thus said the Lord. We go into the law, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Know ye not that we shall judge angels?
That we should judge what?
Angels?
Meaning because we are angels. We are angels. We are gods that's wrapped in flesh body. Our spirit is immortal. We are gods. When you look up the word God, Elohim or Elohim in modern day Hebrew mean God or gods, which is angels, judges, rulers. So we're going to be judging angels, meaning our people. That's why in Matthew chapter 19 verse 27 through 29, the Lord told Peter, when Peter asked what he's going to get, what he's going to receive for doing this work, and he said they're going to sit on the 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So continue on that. Read verse 3 again.
Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life?
So we're going to be judging our people. That's what we're doing. We correct our people. Hey, brother, you know what I mean? You're right. We're correcting them. So go back to Exodus 18. We ain't gonna have to judge the actual angels like up there, because you know what I mean, they're not the heavenly angels, because the scripture tells you in Psalms that the angels they hearken unto the voice of the Most High and they keep His commandments.
Right.
So the angels in heaven, they don't disobey and say, Lord, Father, I don't want to obey you,
right,
and get kicked out. No, they don't do that, because they don't transgress the Lord's commandments. They obey 100%.
Yeah.
So give me read one more verse. Psalms 18, read 26 and 27 again.
And they judged the people all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves.
Uh-huh.
And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and when he went his way into his own land.
So you see that? It didn't say that his father, because he gave him some wisdom, that he got salvation. He gave him wisdom, and he went his way to his own land with his what? With his own people. You know what I'm saying? So all praises to Yahweh Yahweh Shem Mashiach Yahushai. Hope you brothers and sisters got edified through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Mashiach Yahushai. Remind you, remain humble. And another thing, tonight is the Feast of Purim. Last night was the Feast of Nicanor, where Nicanor got his butt, when you read 2 Maccabees 15, Maccabeus chopped off his damn head. And you know what I mean? But tonight, when the sun goes down, it's the first day of Purim. And it's a 2-day feast. Hold on one second. So, Shalom. Hope y'all got edified. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.